Hello and welcome back to the Winning Agenda's coverage of MtG Arena. My name is Jesse Marshall. And this hand looks pretty good. We'll keep this on. We've got General's Enforcer on turn 2. Not always one that you want to be playing early on, and as we saw in the first 3 games, it's very much at the core of the deck in terms of feeding the Bushmeat Poacher and a lot of the other value. But the fact that we've got the Call of the Death Dweller to bring it back makes it a little more attractive. It's probably our premier 2-drop. Right on cue, we draw Fiend Artisan, which is arguably better, but the two of them together are both made better by the fact that we've got Call of the Death Dweller in hand, which means that if we do draw a Whisper Squad, then we can get maximum value as well out of the Call of the Death Dweller by returning a 2-drop and a 1-drop. So Boot Nipper with Death Touch is a little unfortunate, given that we don't have an easy way to remove it, but we'll just go along here and play the Helico Glider, I think, with flying. Try and get a little bit of damage happening early on. And we'll go with no attacks. Even though we could just trade with the Boot Nipper and then Call the Death Dweller for this, I think we want to save it. We want to force him to burn a removal spell on the General's Enforcer. Unfortunately, Startling Development not a creature, so we can't make a 1/1 even if we wanted to. But let's go ahead. We'll attack first and then Grim Dancer, I think. So we'll get in there with the Glider. Hopefully get a bit of damage in, and then get the Grim Dancer out. So reasonably, assuming this Grim Dancer lands and doesn't get Essence Scattered, that's pretty handy. We'll go with Lifelink Menace, and that's a pretty handy start. Even if it gets killed, it's hard to Heartless Act. Easy to Blood Curdle, but yeah, this is certainly not a start we can complain about, especially now we've got the Whisper Squad as well, to give, as discussed earlier, the maximum value from Call of the Death Dweller. So we'll go to combat. If they've got a Lurking Deadeye, or, you know, God forbid, a Cry-Station, then we might be in a bit of trouble, but no, we're looking good there. All right, so I think we'll go with Whisper Squad. We don't desperately need to get Fiend Artisan out this turn. But yeah, let's see if this Whisper Squad lands. No, I think I am happy to play out the Fiend Artisan. Like, if it gets Essence Scattered, it gets Essence Scattered. But the fact that we can next turn get Whisper Squad and then start sacking them feels pretty good. Interesting, yeah. I was going to say, I'm not sure I'd be getting in there with Boot Nipper right now. So for now, the Grim Dancer, because we gave it lifelink rather than Death Touch, is not going to trade with both of these creatures. But if they do block, we can kill the Boot Nipper and then start making 1/1s with General's Enforcer, which we can use to feed to the Fiend Artisan. So maybe that's a reasonable way to trade. But if we're going to do that, do we want to attack with the team at that point? Given their life total and the fact that we've got the Call of the Death Dweller, kind of tempted to just do that, to be honest. Only problem is if they block the General's Enforcer and the Fiend Artisan. I think we'll just attack with the Helico Glider here. I think we've got enough value happening that we don't need to worry too much. So we'll go to blockers. Go to damage, and then I think we're pretty happy to grab a 3-drop with the Fiend Artisan, sacking the Whisper Squad. 1, 2, 3. Really want to start turning this into, admittedly, we haven't used it to fetch, but the fact that we've got another Whisper Squad in hand means that I'm not too worried about fetching, and I'm pretty happy to just start off, grab this other Grim Dancer. Could have grabbed Farfinder there for the land, but I think getting a Death Touch Menace Grim Dancer in play is going to give us some pretty good options. It also means we can go and fetch, if we do draw a land, the Porcupine Parrot next turn, or the turn after, but yeah, in any case, we can do that at some point soon. Assuming that this Grim Dancer does survive. Okay. So we've got a bit of time up our sleeves here. We can, this just pretty much ends the game, I think. So we can go destroy Obosh. They can't block either of the Grim Dancers now. So we'll just get in there. Yep. Well, that's GG. Hope you enjoyed. Not a bad start. And all in all, pretty good. All right, so let's see if we can... We've got 4 wins under our belt now. And I think that's another game that just shows how urgent it is for our opponents to have removal for the number of value creatures that we have. But one thing that I really like about the way that we managed to put this deck together is that we do have the Call of the Death Dweller and 2 really important 2-drops, as well as Whisper Squad, which is a really important 1-drop in the sense that if we play one on turn 1 and they do dead weight it or something like that, being able to get it back and then assemble the whole squad can deliver us so much value through the Bushmeat Poachers and the Fiend Artisan as well later on. So yeah, I think there's a fair amount of synergy here. Possibly a little light on the removal, but the fact that we've got this Mythos of Snapdax can allow us to get some come from behind wins. So let's see if we can't pick up another win straight away here. Hope you're all having a good day wherever you are. It's a little bit cold here in Melbourne. It's one of those cold June days for any of you that have been to Melbourne. The winters are not particularly enjoyable. We do get nice warm days in summer, kind of, high 30s, low 40s. It can be pretty nice, but our winters do get pretty cold. I guess those of you in more northern hemisphere climes are probably going to laugh at me when I say that, because we don't even really get down to 0, and very rarely do we go below 0. But I don't know, 3 or 4 degrees, sometimes even 6 or 8 during the day is pretty cold. This hand looks very nice. We do need to, so our opponent's going first, we're on the draw. We do need to draw a land to hit the Farfinder and then be kind of away. But the fact that we've got a 1-drop and 2 pieces of removal that we can play if we unfortunately get stuck on land means that it's probably a keeper as far as 2 land hands go. But hopefully we do hit that Farfinder on turn 3. Fingers crossed. So we'll get the Whisper Squad out there. Hopefully it doesn't get dead weighted, but no, our opponent is playing green-white apparently, which bodes reasonably well. I think we have a pretty good matchup, assuming that there's no other color to come. I think we have a reasonable matchup against green-white. So let's just activate this and pass. I mean, we're going to do it in their turn anyway, so might as well do it now. We're not going to attack. Pacifism, not the piece of removal we want to see against Hubble Naturalist. I was going to say, depending on what they play here, we might quote-unquote bolt the bird. But I think we will Mutual Destruction the Mosscoat Goriac and just stop any kind of mutate shenanigans happening next turn. And then we'll just get in there for 1. So unfortunately we did miss the 3rd land drop, but hopefully we've slowed them down a little bit there as well. And at least next turn, even if we miss another land drop, we do have plays. We've got either Pacifism or Whisper Squad at this point. Okay, so we hit the land drop, but we don't hit the Grim Dancer or the Farfinder this turn. Our opponent did hit their land drop, so we could be looking at something significant next turn from them, but we do have the Pacifism at least to deal with it, depending on what it is. All right, cycling the Sandworm. This is just terrifying when it gets back for Maud, and it's actually a pretty good one against us as well, because we've got so many low power creatures. So they're passing the turn again. Interesting that they're not attacking. I guess they don't want to take any incidental damage from our Whisper Squads on the way through. So this turn we get to, I think we'll Farfinder rather than Grim Dancering. I think we want to develop the board a little bit into this Bushmeat Poacher now that we've assembled the Whisper Squad. I think that's the way that we want to go. I think we need more black mana in general, but we do need double white for the Mythos. So I am going to take the Plains here. even though we could have played another Whisper Squad if we'd got a Swamp, I think we want to be able to play the Mythos if we do draw it. Yeah, slightly mana inefficient, but there's more chance of us drawing more black sources later on and having an even spread, or at least having one white source for every 4 mana we have is also important for the General's Enforcer. So there is another one of the aforementioned black sources. I think we will just pacifism this, play out the Grim Dancer. It does delay us on the Bushmeat Poacher caper by another turn, but Grim Dancer is just such a nice threat. Tempted by Death Touch Menace rather than Lifelink Menace, just because it's so good against big creatures, and if we do draw the Porcupine, it's going to be pretty sweet. And they're more likely to just be playing giant beaters in a green-white deck. So we'll jam down the Death Touch rather than Lifelink, which I, as I said, do enjoy generally in the format, and as we saw in that game against the Cycling deck, having Lifelink available can make such a difference to their attempts to, whittle down your life with their Dranith Stingers and then Zenith Flare you for the win. So we're getting all the mana we could ever want now. So query whether we want to get a bit more damage in. I think we, in general, probably do and are happy to lose a Farfinder to do 2 extra damage. Although the thing is that it's a card and a life from a Bushmeat Poach that we miss out on. So we've got to kind of weigh those things up. I'm pretty happy to, I think, just take the 3 from the Grim Dancer, assuming we can get in. Nope. All right. So Grim Dancer goes down, but that's fine. We do have the opportunity to call the Death Dweller if we want to. But at this stage, we can just get the Poacher and the Whisper Squad out and start going to Value Town next turn, because we can just now attack with a team into the Humble Naturalist if it stays untapped, or into another massive gigantic dork if they play one. Okay, so that's fine. We lose the squad, but we can get back a couple of creatures next turn, so that's fine. We'll keep that Bushmeat Poacher and the Pacifism. So a pretty good hit for them. All right, so the question is, do we want to... We lost all 4 Whisper Squads, which is unfortunate, because it makes getting a Whisper Squad back a lot less attractive. So I think, because none of our 2-drops are in the bin either, we'll probably just get back a Grim Dancer for now. I think we'll do the same Menace Death Touch. So sad times, the Whisper Squad met a very unfortunate end at the hands of Mythos of Snapdax, but... Oh, yes. Should have given it Lifelink because it gets Death Touch and Menace. That's really a stupid error. We even talked about that in the drafting phase, that if you call the Death Dweller this, you should give it Lifelink because it's going to get Death Touch and Menace anyway. Anyway, I was too busy thinking about the Whisper Squad. Okay. Well, losing the Poacher does kind of suck, but... hopefully we can draw something sweet. Okay, Fiend Artisan is certainly a sweet one. Let's get in there with the team. And then we can start turning human soldiers into gigantic dorks next turn, hopefully. Assuming that the Fiend Artisan survives. Agoriac. Eh? Yeah, so I think we are going to get a bit of value here, rather than running into them with the Divine Arrow. I think I'd rather just start developing the board a bit more. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could just spend all our mana. Just to give I don't think we have any 7-drops. We've got nothing more than a 5-drop, but let's do that. Auto pay, and then sacrifice this soldier. Actually, yeah, maybe should have thought that through a bit better and got the General's Enforcer, but we can do that next turn. Let's get Grim Dancer number 2, or do we want Cloud Piercer? Hmm. Let's get the Grim Dancer with Menace and Death Touch again, just so we almost certainly have the opportunity to utilize that. And then we'll get in there with this Grim Dancer. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that state of affairs. We can, depending on what we draw, I mean, if we draw Bastion of Remembrance next turn, it'll obviously be unreal. Yeah, so here, I think we'll just get in with the squad. Oh, attacking with your 3/3 into a 3/5 is generally not the way to go. But I guess it does mean that we got them down to 2. Deciding to kill the Day Squad Marshal rather than block 8 damage. Something to be said for that. So yeah, okay. Well, we've got a menace that's lethal and another creature that's lethal, so it turned out okay. So a little bit sloppy on a couple of plays there. Attacking with the Day Squad Marshal was 50-50, but I was pretty happy to get the damage through. And early on, could have been a little clearer with the counters that we selected on the Grim Dancer and actually given it lifelink, but it worked out okay. So Fiend Artisan there, I mean, even the fact that we got blown out by Mythos of Snapdax and lost the entire Whisper Squad, it still feeds the Fiend Artisan's power and toughness, which got us there. So that takes us up to 5 wins and no losses. I think we're going to probably put this up as a separate video. So for those of you watching on the stream, which is currently 0 because this is just a test stream. But yeah, we are going to be, it's a good thing to mention, we'll be streaming a lot more of these videos on Twitch. We've got some special guests coming up in the next couple of weeks for some Magic content. So do keep an eye out for that. And we're going to be having a bit of Twilight Struggle content for those of you who are also Twilight Struggle enthusiasts. There'll be the first game of the playoffs in the International Twilight Struggle League, the finals, with me against Adam Amron coming up in the next couple of weeks. So do keep an eye out for that. And keep an eye out for some new exciting streaming content on this channel, as well as a couple of box openings and a bit more Magic content coming your way. So thanks for watching. I've been Jesse Marshall for The Winning Agenda. You can check us out on Twitch at The Winning Agenda, and you can head along to our YouTube channel, which presumably you've already seen if you're watching this video, but it's youtube.com/The Winning Agenda. And you can also check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/The Winning Agenda. Thanks for watching. I've been Jesse Marshall.